Good afternoon. Welcome to our Vendée Globe English Live programme. It's 12:30 UTC, 13:30 here in Les Sables d'Olonne, and the official abandonments are coming in this morning. Sebastian Simon, first of all, who had no choice but to give up with his Arkea Paprec. He's heading to Cape Town. He had damage to that starboard foil and the water has been coming in pretty much constantly. He has been looking after it as best as he can, but he has no alternative but to abandon. And he does say this morning he wants to be back in 2024. Also, Alex Thompson finally arrived in Cape Town this morning. He's confirmed his official abandonment from the race, and he says you find strength from adversity. That was pretty much what he said this morning. But meantime, on the agenda for Alex, a shower, sleep and seeing his family are top priorities for the skipper of Hugo Boss. On the race course, the leaders are in the back of a low pressure system. That means quite tough conditions for the leader, Apivia. Charlie Dallin has 30 to 35 knots of wind, quite difficult sea conditions. And meantime, Louis Burton has much the same conditions, snapping at the heels of Charlie Dallin constantly. And the race has thrown up lots of different names. We have Damien Sagan, the Paralympian, who's fifth. We have Benjamin Dutroux, the new rookie, shall we say, from Les Sables d'Olonne, who's in fourth. Even Yannick Bestaven in fourth is relatively new to the top 10. But up there we have a very talented sailor in Louis Burton from Saint-Malo. And the question everybody's asking is, who is Louis Burton? Well, our guest today is Servane Escoffier, Louis Burton's wife, and she's a former racer herself, team manager for Louis Burton. And of course the boat is the former Banque Populaire, which sailed round and won the last race in 74 days. But first of all, let's look at the rankings and see how things stand at midday today. Indeed, Charlie Dallin still comfortably clear with 142.5 miles of margin over Louis Burton. Louis Burton's doing 16.5 knots versus Charlie Dallin's 18.5. Quickest of the top three anyway is Thomas Riong, who's 170 miles behind Louis Burton, and he's going pretty well as Thomas Riong. Yannick Bestaven's in fourth. He's 374.8 miles behind the leader and just 9 miles ahead of Damien Sagan, who's in fifth. Damien Sagan is 10 miles in turn ahead of Jean Le Cam, who is the quickest of the top 10 this morning, going really well. Benjamin Dutroux, who we spoke about, he is in seventh. Eighth is Boris Herman. Ninth, Isabelle Joschk. And 10th, Giancarlo Pedotti, who we spoke with earlier on today, and he's on great form. Alan Rura has pulled a little bit clear of Stéphane Le Raison in 16th. Stéphane Le Raison has had one or two little problems, but there is and then Armel Tripon is coming back nicely. He's now just about 100 miles behind Stéphane Le Raison. And in great form. Didac Costa, he's in 21st, doing 10.4 knots this morning. He's moved a little bit clear of Pip here just at the back of the front now, and Didac managed to open some distance on Pip on that one. Miranda Merrin, well, she had problems yesterday with her hydraulics, but these are largely sorted out, and she is now in 24th. Alexia Barry in 25th. Ari Husela, who we spoke with today, is 27th, super happy with his race so far, and Kojiro Shiraishi is in 28th, doing 12 knots and going pretty well. So that's the standings at midday today. Great to see Louis Burton up there closing in or quite close to Charlie Dallin. We've got Servane Escoffier, Louis' wife, who's in Saint-Malo. Servane, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you very much. And you? Are you okay?
Yeah, very good. I mean, it must be so exciting. Is it a surprise to see Louis up in second place?
We are very proud, very happy, even if we keep calm because at this time all skippers are in the Southern Ocean, so not so easy. Is it a surprise? My husband is always surprised in all he does, so. More honestly, he's racing for 10 years on IMOCAs. All the big races, he did step by step. He's taken part in Vendée Globe for the third time. He did a great race last time. So of course, he has not the same pedigree as some of others in the up lines, but I knew he can be in this ranking. But the race is very long and the sea is not always very nice. So we keep calm. We take a tea with milk like you, and we keep calm.
Exactly. Very zen.
Do you hear me?
Absolutely perfect. Now, so and what about his strategic choices? He seems to be happy to go further to the south.
Sorry. Can you hear me? Because I can't. I am surprised of is the strategic choice. You tell me? Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised at all, because Louis has a mind of steel in everything he undertakes. So I knew when he was in the battle between 4th and 8th place, and I knew that he wanted to try something, and I knew he wanted to do something that he could make a little money in the pig, and try to do. Okay, I try, and we will see. But it was really in stress, because for 6 days after, it was not so quick. He was not so quick with the boat, but day after day he has eaten miles, so it's good.
And how do you live this period of the race at home? I mean, obviously you're used to it because he's done many races and you're a former racer, but is it different in this situation when he's second?
At this point in the race in the Southern Seas, I'm more concerned, to be honest, because it is the dangerous place of the sea and the planet. So the nights are very little, and with what happened for Kevin as well, it was very stressful for everybody. But I am confident in the Louis choices. I don't want to interfere. I try to do my best to accompany him, but more technically and more in the mind. With the weather and this stuff, I think is large better to not to be alone, and we don't have the right as well. We have signed the paper, and we are not on the sea, so I try not to look a lot the weather on the website. Even my son is doing a virtual regatta, and I don't look the weather as well. So I prefer not.
And how is he doing in the virtual race?
He's like Jacques Carès. He took a room. He took a mooring on a beautiful place. He's not really good.
How good. And does he stay in contact with you at home? Do you speak or WhatsApp, or what's the line of communication?
Yes, we are now always in contact. For example, 4 years ago, not at all, because we only did with the mail, and so that was complicated, and that was only for the job, for the work. Now, because of WhatsApp, which is not expensive, we always do little SMS. My job as a team manager, but for 10 years, but even more by being a wife, is not to be here only for the good moments like today, because he's too, but more in the bad events. This is all the affair of racing. So that's the problem with the racing, sailing, and this sport. We are so. You can be unlucky when I see Alex or some who are great sailor, maybe the better ones, and we see what happens. It's you want to say fuck, but that is this sport. So when it told to me, when I go to the option, west and south, will you always love me if I screw up? Of course, I answered no, we will divorce. But no, in reality, we try to always keep going and pass step by step the shitty place.
Looking first of all at the meteo, the weather for the leaders. Well, we're very much in this post-frontal. The front is here, and we're just at the back of the front with the PV Charlie Dallin here. Now he's probably got 30 to 35 knots. Very unsettled wind at the back of the front, and big seas, probably 5.5 meters. And a little bit more for Louis Burton down here in the south. And this is Thomas Rion up here, slightly further to the north. And all this area, it's very unsettled. It's in the back of the front. Even these boats back here are still very much in the influence of the front. And this is what we call our main peloton. We've got in there Yannick Bestaven, Boris Herman, and co in here. So they're still having quite 20, 25 knots for them, but the wind is shifting all the time, and as I say, the seas are still quite big. So that's the situation for the leading group. Now then, let's look at the animation we're going to run for them. If I can just race across here and stop it, we'll get a little bit of a better picture, hopefully. I'll just stop it there. I'll just stop it there. Or I'll just stop it there. Well, there we go. There it is stopped. So this is now Saturday. This is into tomorrow, and we're watching the centre of the low. We have Charlie Dallin here coming down towards the Kerguelen Islands. And the big question is, with this other low developing behind, the question is how far to the south will Charlie go? I mean, I think at this stage in the race, everybody's going to be fairly prudent. But then just rolling the animation on, as we do now. We'll see he comes fairly far south, but we're just watching this secondary low, or the second low, catching up. We're watching Louis Burton. He seems to have the option to stay further to the north. And meantime, this is Thomas Rion. But in general, we do seem to see a little bit more compression as this rolls through. We're now into Tuesday next week, and this will finish on Wednesday with Charlie still trying to stay in the back of that low pressure, and that could offer him a little bit of extension. But initially, certainly some compression as we go down towards the Kerguelens next Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's it for our animation for the leaders. Let's now look at, this is the situation. We're just watching Armel Tripon then, as we've said a few times, he has this fantastic situation just running along the ice gate in the very beneficial breezes on the bottom of the high pressure system. Now it comes a little bit downwind and he has to jibe a few times, and this is now Sunday, so a fairly straightforward, fairly fast weekend for him. It's still 15, 20 knots for him most of the time, and giving him the chance to really exploit the potential of the L'Occitane en Provence. So that is that animation. And then let's have a quick look at the situation at the back of the fleet. Well, this is Fabrice Amadeo, and then we have this group here, which is Alexia Barrier, Miranda Merin, Stark, Ari Hosela, and further back Kojiro Shiraishi. So just watching their situation, well, they're really under the influence of the west side of the South Atlantic High, and just coming down, working towards the ice barrier as much as possible. You see Fabrice Amadeo just jibing, and now they're just at the back of the high here. They have good conditions, watching the possibility of getting onto this low or the front here and rolling with that. Now that's now Monday, but really some fairly straightforward conditions through into the middle part of the week for them. It shouldn't be too difficult for them. And say that is the back of the fleet. So that's the meteo situation today. Did he ever talk about winning the Vendée Globe?
Honestly, not really. No, not really. Louis has a lot of does other things. Loves a lot of things. Loves sports, and for sure, he's really competitive. Is in his head in everything he does. But because of the boat, because of the size of our team, even maybe no, to be honest, not. But but now we see it's possible.
How interesting. Tell me a little bit about the boat then, because the boat was Armel Leclerc Banque Populaire. What have you done to it since you took it on from the last race?
From the last race, from the last Vendée Globe with Armel, we not did so much. Huh? We keep the foils we have now. We have done a lot of in the comfort because Armel is taller than Louis. So we try to do our best with everything with the comfort and to grab and like that. We have changed some sails, but we have put the wreck, on the face, on the foils, the wreck, but not so much. We try more to fix and fiabiliser en français, Andy.
C'est le même en anglais.
Alors, fiabilize.
And what new sails did you have?
More devant Ginecker, Spinnaker, but we have not all our sails are new for this race.
Cool. And what he doesn't do all the big, he does the big races, but he doesn't tend to do the small races. Why does he prefer to train alone from Saint-Malo?
No. That's not prefer. It's because of the money we have, mate. Huh? It's just because we have a budget that does not allow us to do everything we would like, and that's all the affair with some bad vipers. If we could do everything in the program, he would have done.
Mm-hmm. And what training does he do from Saint-Malo? How often does he go out training?
He had a big program this year with a psychological person and a physical person. He does. He loves automobile things and moto and velo bicycle. He's sailing a lot with some other boats, but he does a lot of things, but not especially one trick. En français, we say is a touche à tout. Et surtout à moi.
I see. And tell us a little bit about Bureau Valley, because you've been with them for over 10 years. What do you do for them? What's the return?
Bureau Valley is our sponsor for more than 10 years. We enter in 11 years. It's a relationship which is growing and growing together because the magasins, the shops are growing as well. We began very petit with the class 40, an old class 40, and year after year we try to keep him confident in us. So before you, I was with 300 people from Bureau Valley in Visio as well. And the other sponsor, Fontaine, Agipa, all in the same sector, like you do, like Syndicat. And they are very, very happy. Very happy for him, for Louis, very happy for the boat, for the return, for sure. So it's a very, very good thing.
Now listen, tell us a little bit more about him as a person. What are his passions in life?
Say again, sorry, Andy?
I'm just asking a little bit more about Louis as a person. What are his passions? What does he love in life besides sailing?
In life, Louis is not a solo person. He's a solo sailor, really, because he does not. He loves when he's solo in the sailing, but he's not a solo person. He likes people. He likes to share. He likes to send a new project, and he is somebody which is always happy. I can say. even if he has a big problem with, but he's really happy in the life, and he's always keep going. So I think it's why he's second in the Vendée Globe. Even if he has not the best sales, even if he has not the best boat, or he will do it. And passion about sailing, racing, automobile, everything which has a motor. But what he loves more and more, it is Lino and Edith, the children. He's totally fan of.
Fantastic.
And he wants to win now the Vendée Globe for Lino and Edith.
Perfect. So he's the godfather of the boat.
Romain.
Yes.
Yeah, he was when he knew for the problem for Romain, he was totally in stress when he we did not want to tell him at the beginning because of the 52J and because of the fire, and somebody told us so by when he asked for a journalist, and after they have sent a message. Louis has sent a message for Romain. Romain, I'm not sure if he could answer because his hands, but Louis was really in stress for his friend.
That's fantastic to know. Servane, it's been a pleasure talking with you. A couple of little questions. So he is Welsh.
He's Welsh, Burton. I don't know. I think I have something to find because of his name and his history. It doesn't tell me everything.
So Servane Escoffier there saying that her husband continues to surprise her, and even being Welsh, I think, coming as a little bit of a surprise to her. But Louis Burton going extremely well on the racecourse. Now then, Ari Husela is his 20-year dream to do the Vendée Globe. He's taken it step by step all the way from the mini class through the Route de Rome, the Transjacques Vabre, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's an amateur, he's a Finnish airline pilot, and this boat is an Owen Clark design, very reliable, and every day we've spoken to him, he's been on good form, and we spoke to him this morning, and he said that the key thing he loves to start the day with is a cup of coffee.
I'm really good. I just had my morning coffee, which was so good. It's such a good for spirits to have one specially prepared cup of coffee from Special Beans and from my favorite roastery from Helsinki, and I'm so happy after that cup of coffee every day. Yesterday I had actually 2 cups of those. Normally I have only one of those good kind of coffees, and then if I need another cup, then I make it from instant coffee, but that's not the same, not even close to the same. But yeah, I'm feeling great. The boat is working fine. It has been so relaxing last like almost 5 days. 15 to 20 knots, maximum 23 knots of downwind sailing, and sea state is really smooth, nice. So it has been easy miles, and I'm happy if I can do 300 miles a day. So that's my goal. I don't need more than that. That makes me home in 120 days or 110 days. That's enough for me, and I don't want to stress the boat, and I want to keep all as well as I can until I get to the Southern Ocean. So I don't want to stress the boat, and I don't want to stress myself. I want to keep my mind like relaxed and rest well and eat well, and that all has happened. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, doesn't it make you just feel great when a skipper in the South Atlantic's having nicer coffee than you are every morning? That is Ari Husela on board the Stark. Now then, join us tomorrow at the same time in the same place on our Vendée Globe Live. We're going to leave you with Giancarlo Pedotti on board Prismian Group, and he's on great form, and he's talking about the 4 key rules for the Southern Ocean that are keeping him going. Join us tomorrow, and here's Giancarlo Pedotti.
So the last 24 hours was not pretty easy because the sea state is continually changed. The waves are pretty close with a period of the waves around 10 seconds. And this means that when we start to surf with a very important speed, more than 20 knots, we crash in the wave. So this is one focal point of our sail configuration, to don't have a lot of speed in front of us and don't have not enough speed for don't follow the rhythm of the wave. If you have a technical problem, you don't mind, because there is something more important that takes the control of the situation. But we try to do the best for live this moment as best as we can. And this is English message from Brisbane Group.